So we move on to our next story, and our next story has to do with faith and film, and that is quite an interesting um, development to get to see when the highest office in terms of the in the area of faith, the papacy from the Vatican has invited a creme de la creme of Hollywood stars who actually also heeded to the call, and that is quite exciting to see, particularly for those of us in the arena of the film industry, and also have one way or the other um, our footing in the faith area or arena. So there you have it on your screen. Some the Hollywood big wigs, in the halls of Vatican. And there you can see Cate Blanchett and Spike Lee and Leslie Mann and Viggo Mortensen sitting on the front row in the image that you can see. So it is quite interesting to have a pope that is also passionate about films, and that is quite exciting to see. So let's take a look as to what exactly some of these Hollywood bigwigs had to say after having an encounter with the papacy. And this is the Vatican News actually published it and had a lot to say. And this is what it says: that Hollywood to the Vatican, Cate Blanchett, Spike Lee meet Pope. So speaking with Vatican News, Cate Blanchett, Spike Lee, Leslie Mann, and Kenneth Lonergan share their responses to Pope Leo's call to use their roles in the world of cinema to help others rediscover a portion of the hope that is essential for humanity to live the fullest. And this is what he had to say. So these are snippets of the interviews that were shared online. And I don't know whether I should play it, or, well, let me just stick to, okay, let's just play a number of them. I think that would be more exciting than just always reading them.
It was incredible. I don't know what he said exactly because he was speaking Italian, but we have it written down in English, so we'll go home and read it. But it was we're very hopeful and very excited for the future of cinema.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, the world of cinema is obviously very important for people's lives.
Yes.
How do you feel as an actress?
Well, we're trying to get people back in theaters and to experience movies together instead of at home on the lazy boy.
So yeah, there you have it with Leslie Mann actually
Boy.
talking about how, definitely the speech given by Pope Francis was in Italian, so the full perhaps information therein may not be so obvious to them, especially for those who may not understand Italian. But I'm sure there was a form of translation. But she says she'll be delving into it further since they have the English transcript of his speech. But it looks like, regardless, they have been so much inspired by Pope Leo Francis, Pope Leo, who happens to be an American, a Chicago-born American. So indeed, the call on them to come and having be more focused or be more concerned about film is quite an interesting thing for all of them. As a matter of fact, if you read the Sky News article of the same story, most of them, particularly their agents, thought that the was a hoax. I mean, their agents thought it was a hoax and that someone is playing a prank on them. So the Vatican officials had to confirm that it is not a hoax and that they really mean this is actually from the Pope himself, and that is quite interesting to see. Let's go on to the second one, where you have church and cinema, and this sentiment of hope continued with Kenneth Lonergan, an American playwright, screenwriter, and film director. he pointed out that even though he's not a Christian, Catholic or religious, the Catholic Church has been one of the great promoters of art for many hundreds of years, and that is very true. And there is an audio article, I mean, an audio recording of what he had to say, of which I will leave in the description for you to have to play it and have a look at it. But indeed, it is true. The Roman Catholic Church, one way or the other, have pushed, or have in a way been a major contributor in preserving art in whichever form that may be, even um, a lot of paintings to a whole gamut of different arts, and they have been able to help make it possible. So I like the view and point of it. And this is what Lonergan had said. Lonergan praised Pope Leo's interest in bringing cinema into that tradition of art. He argued a world without art, film, paintings, music would be pretty sorry world. It would be a pretty sorry world. In today's world full of conflicts and social tensions, art, cinema in particular, can be an avenue of hope. As soon as people have a chance to be hopeful, Lonergan noted, they grab it. So that is very true. And that is quite an interesting angle to that experience that he has had. And there you have it, is Spike Lee himself. And Spike Lee actually had much more of a history in the background of Pope Leo. And I'll show an image where he gifted Pope Leo a Knicks jersey, but he spoke about it here. Let's take a look at it.
Here's a story. The Pope went to Villanova. Did you know that? And the Knicks had 3 players from Villanova. So it was Brand Jordan, City Edition, New York Knicks jersey. He's a 14th Pope, so at number 14 on it, and Pope Leo in the back. So there's a connection. Villanova, he went there, and we got three great players on the Knicks. Now went to Villanova, and this is our year.
So there you have it, Spike Lee giving you a little background to Pope Leo going to Villanova, and how 3 great players came from Villanova itself. So he felt the need of gifting him a jersey to that effect, a basketball jersey to that effect. So that is quite interesting to see. So moving on, Australian film actor and producer Cate Blanchett also had opportunity to gift the Pope a bracelet, a blue bracelet, as she is, or she happens to be, an ambassador for UNHCR. That is the refugee, I mean, the UN agency in charge of making sure that the marginalized, that is the refugee who are displaced, are protected and have a safe place to dwell. So she brought this bracelet, and actually she wears it in solidarity with people who are displaced. And there's also an audio file with regards to that. But let me just read briefly what he had to say. So earlier this year, Blanchett launched the Displacement Film Fund as a UNHCR Goodwill Ambassador. The initiative is dedicated to championing and funding the work of displaced filmmakers, or filmmakers with a proven track record in creating authentic storytelling on the experience of displaced people. So there's a lot in there, and I'm sure you hear it all when you finally watch it. But this is what exactly she had to say. Let me just pick briefly from the first paragraph. It says that it is of tremendous importance that His Holiness is opening up this space for dialogue and pointing out how important it is to create space for stories of those who often get unheard and people who do not have so much opportunity, like the displaced filmmakers Carlo Chichstred. Oh, sorry. So this I think a colleague of hers as well. So, and she also goes on to stress on this and so this what she argued reveals this she argued reveals shared values between displaced film fund and the Vatican, as they promote basic human rights and the dignity of each person. And that is beautiful. That is really wonderful. So I mean, so this is just a few excerpts of the interviews, showcasing how uh, thrilled the Hollywood bigwigs were when they finally met the Pope, and he went on to express I mean, his views on cinema and how they should use the power of cinema to convey, hopes to humanity and all. And just as I promised, this is an image of, you know, Spike Lee handing over the jersey of the New York Knicks to, what's it called? Pope Leo. And briefly, let me just read something he did say. That is, the Pope himself did say at this event concerning the power of cinema. And this is what he had to say. He said, when cinema is authentic, it does not merely console, but challenges. And this is what the Pope had to say. He went on to also say that it articulates the questions that dwell within us and sometimes even provokes tears that we didn't know we needed to shed. And that is really, really powerful. That was really, really powerful. So, I mean, I hope that maybe I will check whether the transcript for his speech is full online, and maybe at a later time, that is, if we get opportunity to, we'll analyze all that he said concerning cinema and perhaps what his speech would mean for the cinematic landscape going forward. So this actually indeed is good news to have people in highest authority, even in faith, to want to see cinema bring impactful change wherever we may be. So that is indeed good to hear. So let me know what you think, particularly with this invitation by Pope, whether Pope's message that cinema should not just console but also challenge us is indeed on point in impacting the lives, of all humanity, particularly those without a voice to be heard. And that is what the his speech actually, in summary, did point out. So just before we leave, the Pope also, I think prior to the event itself, the Pope made known his, the films he likes the most, the films that is his favorite. And this is what he mentioned. The Pope's favorite films are classics like It's a Wonderful Life, It's a Wonderful Life, and Life is Beautiful. And I think he did mention other two films. Let me see if I do have it here. Just a minute, please. So, unfortunately, I don't think I have it here, but yeah. So these are just two of the classic films that, yeah. So aside, It's a Wonderful Life and Life is Beautiful, he also likes The Sound of Music. The Sound of Music. Last, I am not sure. I'm even and I think Ordinary People also, yeah, I think Ordinary People is also the film, the fourth film that he likes so much. I think the Ordinary People, it's a Robert Redford's film. So there you have it. The Pope also being passionate about films, and calling on the Hollywood community is indeed a great thing to see. So whatever your thoughts may be, kindly leave it in the comment section below.